So I'm getting this message where someone is thinking about all of the good times that you can have together. In love. All of these good times that you can have together in love. To the point where the two of you will heal each other. It's a very healing energy. The two of you will heal each other. This is a divine union where you're just meant to be with this person. Okay? Let's see. I'm being guided to get another deck first. This deck. I just saw one of the cards in my mind. So I feel like I need to get this deck. I don't know what it's called because I don't have the box on hand, but it's the one with the seashells on the back, the two seashells. It reminds me of the Two of Pentacles. And that's making me think about sharing. Somebody just wants to share life with you, share a baby, share time with you. Clean it up. Someone is cleaning up their life. You may be cleaning up your life as well. Like if there's anything around, maybe even like cleaning up at home, or cleaning up your mind, cleaning up your circle, like who you surround yourself with. I heard choosing only to surround yourself with people who are or who have a growth mindset. Those are the only people that are worth being around nowadays, honestly. Because anybody else will try to drag you down with them. And do you really want that? I don't think so. I think not. Okay. Let's see what else. Orphaned. Peace. There's this energy I'm getting here where there was a time where you felt really lonely, right? But you had to learn to find peace in that loneliness. It won't focus because I have this background, blurred background on. But it's someone that looks very sad and lonely. So you had to find peace in the loneliness to continue on, even though it was difficult. You had methods that you used, which could have been through work or just staying active, that truly helped you. I thought I dropped something. Oh yeah, so I just lost my train of thought for a second. You found a way to cope with your loneliness, with feeling alone. And it works until it doesn't, because it'll still creep up on you as soon as you clear your mind and you have room to think. There was a time where you were just thinking about how you want someone to fill that void. Not that you are empty, but it's just a desire that you have to actually have a desire to be with somebody. That's the normal. We're human. We're actually supposed to be with people. We're not supposed to be alone. You know? The only thing that really gets in the way of true companionship and bonding and true wholeness within a relationship is lack of discipline and temptations and confusion as well. Not recognizing what's best for you, and it'll cause you to keep going in a direction that leads to death or sickness or just incompatible situations that come towards you when you don't choose to allow your spirit to guide you. When you don't allow your soul to guide you, you're just going back and forth, swayed every which way. Truth be told. So many of you have experienced this feeling of not really knowing where you stand or what to do in certain instances where you felt a sense of comfort that was really false, because you could have attached to something that you thought was for you, and then you realized that it wasn't. And that makes you feel disconnected and weird. That's like a very weird gray area that we go through in life when we're trying to figure out life. Many of you have experienced that. Time for a nap. There's something about taking into consideration your dreams and your thoughts, your resting thoughts. I heard your resting thoughts. Because there's messages that the divine will send you in those moments. So don't let the thoughts and the dreams and the visions that you have or ideas that you have just go away. Write them down and try to put the date. You know, I try to do that. Sometimes I forget to put the date. And that always bothers me when I forget the date. There is this picture that I drew, and it was one of my first visions that I had right before I opened my eyes to wake up. And it was years ago. It was probably like several years ago. And I saw a vision of what looked to be Jesus on a beach. I almost want to get up and show you. Where is that book? Is it over here? It was Jesus. It looked like Jesus. To me, that's what it gave, Jesus on the beach. And it gave that vibe that was like 5 in the morning maybe. And this is in the vision. It felt like it was like 4 or 5 in the morning. That beautiful moment in the morning where the sun hasn't risen yet. And I could still see stars in the sky though. And what looked to me like Jesus was sitting Indian style to the right of my vision with just a cloth around the waist and no shirt on, with locks into a bun. And it's like it's my spirit just snuck up on him from behind, but I was a distance away, maybe like a car and a half distance away, but I could see clearly. And he was just sitting there, very quiet, very calm, peaceful. And he felt me, and he turned around very slowly and looked back at me, like he felt me. Let me see if I can find, because I'm talking about this picture, and I feel like I want to show you. Which book is it in? Is it in that one? Let me see. Let me see if I can find this book, because now I want to show you. Yes, this is the right book. Okay. This is the right one. It's the right one. That's good. Now, let's see if I could just find it here. Let me find it. And this is the third drawing that I drew in this book. And I didn't put the date. I'm so annoyed with myself that I didn't. I wish I did, because I would have liked to analyze and decode that, but I didn't put the date. Now, you see this? Should I turn this light on? It feels too dark. Okay, so that's what I saw. And I woke up and I had to hurry up and get my book. I was like, oh, that was so beautiful. It was so beautiful. It was so beautiful. I didn't have the right tools because it really should have been painted. And I still see the image in my mind. It's still there. I could do it again. But the next time I do it, it needs to be painted, because it would capture the moment better. But anyway, just had to share it because Spirit led me to. I just move with the flow of the energy that Spirit gives to me to give to you. No place like home. Go the distance. See, this person feels like you are home to them. You are home. You feel like home. They know you are home. They know you are home. I heard that you are a home that they will always love to go to. You know how some people are in relationships and they try to avoid going home? I've seen that before, multiple times. They don't even want to go home. They're like, what else can I do? Do I need to go to the store? Do I need to go get something else? Maybe I should just sit here in the car for a while. Like, some people, they don't feel valued at home. They don't feel loved. They don't feel heard. You know, some people are in relationships and their person don't want to hear anything that they have to say. So they'll be talking and you could tell that the person that they're with is very uninterested. That's no love there. There's no communication. How could you live with someone that you don't communicate with? That is horrible. But people go through that all the time. Not for you. I'm hearing within your time of silence that you spend with yourself. And if you're not practicing moments of silence when it comes to, I heard, okay, so I'm trying not to lose track of thought because I'm getting multiple trains of thought. But when they say moment of silence, they're usually respecting the dead. We could do that for ourselves as well. Respect the dead, which is the last, the aspect of our growth that is now gone. Like, okay, so not gone, but that has been renewed. So we grow all the time, right? As we grow, we shed old versions of ourselves. Therefore, taking time in silence is to respect the fact that we learn from our past self. So we should be taking moments of silence. As many moments as you can. It doesn't have to be too much, but if you just set aside some time, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour, if you could really handle it, that's good for you. It's good for you to look back and reflect on what you used to do and what you're doing now and congratulate yourself for the growth. Because when you see the growth and you're paying attention to it, it makes you feel so much better in life. It just makes you feel like life is worth living because you understand it now. When you don't understand life, it makes it so hard because life is not easy. However, it's beautiful at the same time. It depends on how you look at it. If you look at everything that's just horrible, then your life is going to be horrible. But if you look at the good and think about what is actually working out, life gets easier to live. Even enjoyable. Okay? Message in a bottle, message to self, clean it up, no place like home. Recognizing that you want peace. Recognizing that you will go the distance. You will go to war for your peace. A change in the wind is you making decisions for yourself. And that gives you a leg up, because when you allow other people to make decisions for you, you have a hard time because people don't know what's good for you. You know what's good for you. Many people don't know what's good for you. Many people will just lead you to where they think is right and try to tell you how to live your life when they don't even know how to live their own. And you definitely don't want to listen to people like that, because they're going to have you going into a ditch that you can't get out of. The tribe, round and round, leg up, truth be told. Going round and round with individuals that are not worth the trip is a waste of time and energy. And Spirit is saying there's a deep knowing that you want to find your tribe, because you know with your tribe there's blessings. When you connect with those that, so come on, yeah, deep knowing. Find your tribe and blessed. This card matches my pants. It matched. But anyway, this is really about being honest with yourself and being able to choose yourself and go into the waters within to understand what it is that means something to you, without trying to use other people's perception of themselves and you and project on you to make you think what they think. Because what they think is not what you think. Not unless you really think that. But the thing is if you have to be able to discern if you agree with what they're saying or not. Because if you're just going along with the people, because it sounds good in the moment, you're going to be all over the place. To listen to what one says and then actually discern it to see, is that right for me? They do it for themselves. That's what they believe. But do I believe that? Do I think that's right for me? That is the key to making sure that you're on track with yourself and not with somebody else's path by mistake. Okay? There was this energy of someone feeling very serious about you in the beginning. And it's because it's like they see that you are on the same journey as they are. Healing. Both of you are on a healing journey and you recognize that and you respect it. There's respect there. I feel like we heal for the rest of our lives. And we just handle our you know, sometimes people be like, oh, I healed already. I feel like healing needs to be maintained. Because under certain circumstances, there's situations that could bring back up feelings from the past of something that was traumatic to you, and it could kind of start or reopen an old wound. And I feel like it is important that we maintain our healing by continuing to reaffirm ourselves and remind ourselves of who we are, why we're here, what we're meant to experience, and why we experienced what we did, so that we could detach ourselves from anything that could hinder you from moving forward. The whole key here is to not allow the past to have you stagnant and stuck, and push through any feelings of anxiety that might come forward for you to move forward. And just go. Because then that means you're living, and you're learning, and you're growing. If you're alive and you're not living, learning, and growing, then it's almost as if you're not alive. It's like you're dead, like you're a zombie. That is like the state of zombie, living a zombie life. And I don't believe that anybody truly actually wants that. It's just something that people fall into or make a mistake and think that it's right and it's not. What else do you want to tell them here, Spirit? That's too many cards. Wanting to be connected to what's real. And not shying away from what some of you think may not be for you. I'm picking up energy where some of you think it's too good to be true for you to actually obtain the happiness that you want, but that's not true. Because you can, because you have the power to do whatever you want to do in your life. This is your life. That's why you've been given free will. Now, you do what you will with that free will. But if you choose to down yourself and tell yourself that you can't all the time, then you won't. So you have to change your way of speaking. Who is it going to be? Me or them? Did you cheat? What is that about? Why is that coming out? Resonating. I feel like you've dealt with a lot of people like saying that you did or said something that you didn't. And you also have a fear of being cheated on. I'm getting multiple signals with those two cards. Many of you just want to be loved and respected and not have to worry about somebody playing you. So it makes it hard for you to move forward because you're worried about that heartbreak again. And you don't want it. So it's really about confidence and being appealing and activating the sexy in you, like your nature. Because it makes you feel good. And even if something does happen where it doesn't go wrong, or where something goes wrong, it's good for you to just know it could happen. You sound like you're calling it in, but it's like, you know, this is life. People do things. So if that does happen, you have to stay in your confidence and your appealing, sexy energy, so that you can know, like, look, if this person doesn't want to be with me and it can't be faithful to me as I am to them, then this is not the right person for me. I love myself enough to walk away and not be saddened for an extended period of time off the strength of someone else's unwillingness to be able to be committed, because some people don't have the willpower, or they don't have the desire to be committed. Okay, I can read your mind. I know you want me to. Okay, so that's about communication, and it is coming through telepathically. However, the communication should also be physically as well, audibly. So as long as you speak with someone and communicate with someone, and you realize what the both of you want, and you know you did that due diligence, then you've done a good job. Asking the right questions and making sure that you and the person are on the same page is the best thing that two people could do before they lay down in that bed. It really is. It's just a beautiful realization that two people could have before they get to any other space in the phases of a relationship, because it sorts out what people truly want, like their true desires. Like, do they really want to be in a committed relationship with you, or are they just wanting to play the field? If they want to play the field, okay, that's what you want to do, that's fine. But I don't want that, so thank you for letting me know. Now, some people will be dishonest and just say whatever you want to hear so that they can get in them pants, okay? However, not everyone's like that. You have to use discernment. That's the part of learning to use discernment. I am your loyal life partner. So you can tell when somebody's genuine and when somebody's just saying something just because they want you to. Well, some people are real slick and sly, though. Some people are charmers, yes. But again, it's about discernment, and it's about paying attention to your body. How does your body feel around this person? Is your body telling you, like, I don't feel right? Or is your body like, okay, I want to get closer. I want to try. Let's see if this could go to a place. Let's just see. Maybe, because maybe it won't. Maybe it will. I don't know. Because you must know, is this a match? Is this a match? Because if it's not a match, then you want to remove yourself from that person and don't take it any steps further. I think you've been sneaking around, have you? Red flags. If somebody has a tendency to accuse you, or if it feels like somebody's trying to compete with you, but this is a potential that you're looking at as someone to be with, that's weird. It's weird when you get into contact with someone and you recognize that it feels like they're trying to compete with you. When you're in love with someone, there should be no competition. So if that's going on, that person has something else happening, or there's something going on with the energy where maybe a masculine could how can I say it? Like a feminine could be too masculine, and then it could make a masculine get combative. And then also, if a masculine is acting too feminine, then it can make a feminine feel combative, because it's like there needs to be an alignment with the energy. So if you notice any like combative energy, that's weird. That's not supposed to be present in a relationship. And when it is, that's like a fight for like dominance, a fight to be heard. But there has to be compromise there and respect. But if the two people are disrespectful, then it's just not gonna work. So it also has to do with people's morals and ethics and values. Are the morals and ethics and values on point? Are those in alignment? These are the questions that are important, and these are the conversations that should be had before you move forward. However, I do feel like there's someone that really already knows that they want you. I'm just speaking from the cards and how they're coming out. So it's like little mini lessons I feel from this. Tell me why you never responded. Well, that's an honest question. If somebody's bold enough to just ask you a question, or you're bold enough to ask someone a question and they don't want to answer it, depending on what the question is, as long as it's not inappropriate for whatever reason, ask the question. Especially if you've been with the person for a while or whatever. Ask the question, and if you feel like they avoid answering it, or if they are all weird, is that causes communication issues, and then the transparency is bad, and then you feel like people are hiding things, and then it gets weird. That's another thing that just gets weird. If people feel like they have to do all those magic tricks by like hiding stuff, not saying this, not saying that, is that the relationship that you want to be in, that type of relationship? Or do you want to feel open and free? It just depends on what are you looking for, what matters to you. I appreciate every millisecond with you. It's like this message is giving pros and cons. What is it that you want? What are you going to go for? What are you going to tolerate? What are you going to accept? And no matter how much you like the person, make sure that you ask these questions. No matter how much they like you, no matter how much you like them, because in the end, if you don't, you can end up with someone that you do not like at all. Because in the beginning, we always go for the looks, like what they looking like. What they looking like, right? That's the first thing we see with this carnal nature of ours, with this vessel. What they got going on? Let me see. Turn around like that. Wait, move to the side. Let me see. They might not say it because they can't say that in the beginning, or maybe some people do, but it's kind of like their eyes do the angles. The eyes are angling, trying to see everything. But it's not just that. There's so much more than that, because if you're just clung on to someone just off the strength of how they look, and you're not looking into their mind and all that, and then they get pregnant, and then you realize that they are a psycho Bob, you're going to have trouble on your hands for the rest of your life. Don't nobody want to deal with that. They want to massage your pain away. See, this is someone that is very attentive. Are you someone that desires to be in a relationship with someone who's attentive? So that's the type of person that you want. So that's the type of person that you accept. If you realize that someone you like, they're cute but they're dismissive, that is the complete opposite of what you want. So why continue on with a person like that if you know that that's something that's going to aggravate you? The key to connecting is if the connection is a link, if it's a match. But to say all that, I just say all that to say that someone thinks that you are their match, and they don't feel like they need to look any further. They found the one that they want to give their offer to, their offer of love, because they're tired of having to battle illusions with all of these other experiences that they've had, and they ended up being left in confusion. They've been left dealing with the confusion of the illusions and just recognizing, you know what, I might as well just be by myself. Because I see what's going on and I know what I want, and it's not what I've been dealing with. So that's a great way to see something, and this is a very mature person. It's good to be with somebody who has played the field already. I feel someone who has experienced many different experiences to know what is real and what's fake, and who is worth actually building a life with, because everybody's not worth building a life with. You have many people that may look the part, but they are not the part. They cannot play the part because they don't even know themselves. They don't even know. They don't even know. So how could they play a part when they don't even know what part they play in their own life? They're still trying to figure that out. And then they kind of just are being tossed to and from based on what other people say, and they don't have their own mind to think. How could you build with somebody like that and they all over the place and always listening to somebody else instead of communicating to their partner? That's weak. That's a weak-minded person, and that's somebody that will always be influenced by somebody outside of the relationship, and they will not be able to speak directly to their person in communication to the point where they can make their own decisions and formulate their own thoughts. They won't be able to because they're dependent on the thoughts of others in order to make a decision for themselves, and that's bad. That is very bad. And many times external forces that have so much of an opinion, their opinions don't always come from a pure place. Sometimes they come from a place of jealousy and envy. And it's like, how could you take the advice of someone who envies you? They're going to try to lead you off a cliff so you can fall and break something. You're trying to keep all your pieces together, okay? We don't need to be popping nothing, breaking nothing. Let's keep everything in alignment, okay? Keep the vessel intact. I think that's it for this message. Let me get a charm. You and this person appreciate someone who is on the healing journey to be free within themselves. You don't want to be locked up into a relationship that's not worth your time, because it kills the spirit and the soul. So you want to fly. And blue is the throat chakra. So communication is required. So if you're around somebody that has trouble communicating, it's not going to work. So you might as well hang it up. Hang it up, because it's not going to work. So, you know, or you're just going to have a really hard time and just be angry all the time just because you can't communicate with the person and express yourself, and you feel like you're not heard. It makes no sense to stick around in a relationship like that. You can't be in a relationship where you can't communicate with the person, because it's not going to last long. And it's just going to be a very frustrating experience. Okay, so that's it for this message. If you would like to book a coaching call or reading with me or purchase any of my books, you can. Go to www.MNHONEYROSE.org. Also check out my store that's attached and linked to this video at the bottom. Much love to you. I'll see you in the next message.